Hey there, it's Ron. How y'all doing? Today I want to do a video that I've been wanting to do for quite some time, and I've been a little hesitant about doing it. Had some things to think about. Plus I had to get some figures together, but I'm going to reveal my monthly retirement budget to you, okay? And it's going to be different than other people's budgets. This is my budget. This is our budget here at our household, and I'm going to go through it today. I got it all listed right here and talk about it. But first, before we get to the budget part, I want to talk to you about some other things. I'm going to talk to you about 4 different things real quick. One is goals, setting some goals, okay, before you retire. We are living totally on our Social Security. We have not taken out any of our 401k or IRAs. We haven't touched any of that. So far, I'm 6 months into my full retirement. My wife's been retired for about 2 years. So we are living totally on our Social Security income at this point. And we're doing pretty well with it, okay? But in order to do that, you need to set up some goals for yourself, okay? And some of the goals that I would think about making is, number 1, before you retire, pay off your house. Have a mortgage-free domicile, okay? Don't owe anything on it, and that's the best way to do it. Another thing to consider is having all your vehicles paid off. If you financed your vehicles, pay them off. Now, my wife and I, we bought new vehicles 3 years ago. We only financed them for 3 years. We put a pretty good chunk of money down on them and financed them for 3 years with the intentions that those would be our retirement vehicles, and they are, okay? Go into retirement with no consumer debt. Pay off all your credit cards. It's okay to have credit cards, but don't go into retirement with consumer debt hanging over your head. I think that's a mistake. You should probably have that all paid off before you go into retirement. And if you're going to live totally on Social Security, you need to make sure you have a rainy day fund. There are always things that come up. Now, we have money in our savings account saved up just for that purpose, for rainy day funds. And it could be anything. Our health insurance that we have, our supplemental plans, do not cover dental and do not cover eye glasses and what have you. Those are our rainy day funds. You can get dental coverage on your medical plans, but we did not. Okay, we just got the plain old Plan Gs. Okay. There's things to watch out for and to think about when you're planning for your retirement. And these are things that you probably don't think about when you're getting ready to make your plans to retire. But one thing to remember is prices will always increase. We have gone through a lot of price increases the last 3 or 4 years since COVID. Just recently, I was going over our insurance that we pay for our automobile and our house, and realized that they had a big price increase last year. So these are unexpected items that you need to be aware of. Groceries, gasoline, home insurance, auto insurance, even your medical insurance, your Plan G insurance can go up from one year to the next. And sometimes these can surprise you. So you need to kind of play in, or you need to kind of think about those things as you go into the future and have a rainy day fund, okay? There's also unexpected expenses that come up. Auto repairs, house repairs, appliances go bad, other systems in the house like your AC unit or your heater may go out. I recommend that if you have the opportunity that you look at the systems in your house, look at your roof, look at your appliances, how old they are, what condition they're in, look at your air conditioning and heating unit. And while you're working, if you have the opportunity and these systems need to be looked at or replaced, I would consider replacing them before you retire. Being retired and having to replace your heating and air system can be pretty detrimental to you, okay? All right, so anyways, let's get to it. I'm gonna go through my expenses right here for the month of July. I picked July. I've been retired since December 31st, 2024, so I'm 6 months into my retirement. And like I said in the beginning, we've been living totally on Social Security. So let me explain my chart to you. On this side of the chart are our expenses, our fixed expenses, things that we have like utilities, groceries, and cell phone and that kind of stuff. On this side over here is extra expenses. The top part includes insurance. The bottom part is miscellaneous right here. And then this part right down here I'll explain when we get to it. So we're going to start right here at the top. And what I did is I went through my checking account and made this list, so it's pretty accurate for what I have here. But for two of us, my wife and I, we spend almost $865 a month for groceries. Now some of you may think that's kind of high, but inside that groceries is your paper goods, aluminum foil, those kind of things, not just food. So, anything you might buy at the grocery store or Sam's or one of them places. The second item on the list is an auto payment. So I still owe on my pickup truck, and it will be paid off in December. I have 4 more payments to make on that. So before the end of the year, that $450 will probably go away. Well, not probably, it will, okay? So I'm gonna put a little cross out through that. Now here's the big one right here, auto and home insurance. I just went down and visited my insurance agent. I have Farm Bureau insurance at Farm Bureau of Tennessee. I just went down and visited my insurance agent last week and talked to him about our insurance and what it's costing us. We could make some adjustments to that by lowering some deductibles and kind of doing something like that, but I'm not really willing to do that at this moment. The thing is, it costs us $400 a month for auto and home insurance. That's a lot, okay? Fuel, that's gas in our vehicles, gas for the lawnmower, those kind of things. We spent $361 in fuel last month. Now, that's kind of high for us. We don't drive a whole lot. Well, my wife doesn't. But I did have to help my parents move last month, and there was probably about $100 worth of gas in my pickup truck over a 4-day period, making several trips back and forth from their apartment over to the storage unit they bought or rented. So that's a little bit high. I would say that's more, going to be more like about $250 a month for us. Auto repairs, and these are unexpected things. We had an auto repair bill last month. My wife took her car in for service. They had to, they wanted to do the flush the brake system or something, one of those things. She's got like 33,000 miles on her Honda CRV, so it was time to have that done. That's an unexpected thing right there. That won't happen every month. Now we get down to the utilities. We have natural gas here, so our electric and natural gas fluctuate between the winter and the summer months, but it pretty much stays the same. Our electric bill was $168 last month. Now it's been hot down here in Tennessee, really hot, so the air conditioner's been running pretty good for the last month. Our internet costs us $135 a month. That is for unlimited. We don't have cable TV. We cut the cord several years ago, but what we do is stream a lot on our tablets and our computers or whatever we're watching movies and what have you. So, we go over the allotted. It's cheaper for us to get the unlimited, and we have Comcast, by the way. Our cell phones, we're with Cricket. Cricket costs us for 2 phones, unlimited is $80 a month. I know you could probably get cheaper, but you got to realize something. We are kind of like in the country here. We don't live in a big city. So Cricket runs off of AT&T towers. Comcast or Xfinity runs off of Verizon towers. And then if some of you got Mint Mobile or one of those, they run off of T-Mobile towers. Now the T-Mobile towers are not real strong in this area. So we could have gone with Mint, but based on the type of service and how much service there is, we decided that we were not going to do that. We were going to stay with something else. So when I left my employment last year, they paid for my cell bill, and they were on AT&T corporate, and I had to get something else. at the time when I retired, my wife was on a Verizon prepaid card, which had like a 5 gigabyte limit to it. And she was paying $35 a month for that, okay? She had it for years, okay? So we decided to go with Cricket. So far, we've been really happy with their service. The water bill last month was $20. And that's about normal. Okay, we spent about $20 a month. I think that's the minimum, by the way. And then our gas bill was $9 last month. That is also the minimum. Now that will change as we get into the winter months, where the gas will increase and the electricity will come down a little bit. And they normally just fluctuate like that. But normally for electricity and natural gas, we don't spend more than $160 to $170 a month, even in the wintertime when it's cold here. The total of all that side right there is $27.72. So now we're going to visit the other side of this page right here and talk about some insurances and stuff. Let me get a swig of coffee here. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This is decaf coffee, and my friend Tim will say, "What's the point?" I don't know, I just like it. Anyways, let's start on this side over here with insurance. Now, I broke it down between me and my wife. My medical insurance, my Plan G is with Mutual of Omaha, and they seem to be a very good company. My parents have been with them for years. My Plan G and my prescription drugs, I think my Plan G is about 127 and my prescription drugs are about 35, and that covers everything. So I pay $165 for my medical insurance and my drug plan. My wife, her medical insurance, her Plan G, or her Plan N, she has a Plan N, and her prescriptions are $83 a month for that. And then I had out-of-pocket doctor visit. So I had to pay, you have to pay deductible. So in the Mutual of Omaha, my deductible is $300 a year. So the $145 met my deductible for the year. I had a doctor visit last month. So I had to pay $145. And then for medicines that the prescription drug plan doesn't cover, like Tier 4 medicines, I have one that's a Tier 4. And I have to pay out of pocket $25 for that. That's $25 every 90 days. So it's about $100 a year for medicines I have to pay. So for medical stuff, okay, and this does not include our Medicare Plan B. Does not include that, okay? That comes out of our Social Security check. For just this medical insurance, things, the doctor visits and that, we pay $418, or we paid $418, but $145 of that was an out-of-the-pocket doctor visit. So if you subtract that from there, okay, minus that $145, then you get $273. So, you know, basically we pay $273 every month for our Plan B, Plan Gs and Plan N and those other things. And then, of course, you got the $300 deductible on my side of it. I don't know if my wife has a deductible or not. This does not include the Plan B. That comes out of our Social Security checks, out of the gross Social Security checks. So I'm just going to put a little circle on that. That's something to be aware of right there. So let me tell you something real quick. Both of my parents are 87 years old. They paid about $500 a year for both of them, Mutual of Omaha, for their Plan G for a long time, until my mother had hip replacement surgery 2 years ago, and my dad had a skin cancer thing where he had to have immune therapy and surgery to take it off. It was in his neck, and it got in his lymph nodes, and after that he had to have radiation. He didn't have to go through chemo, but he had radiation. Well, the very next December, they increased their Plan G insurance from like $500 for the two of them to like $800 each, or $800 for the two of them, over $400 a piece. So I would expect your Plan G, as you get older and you require more medical attention, and especially if it's something major like a surgery or something, that is going to go up, okay? So you need to be aware of that. Let's move on down the list. Give $100 each month to the church for charity. Then eating out. We don't eat out a lot. We eat at home a lot, okay? We just don't like to go out to eat. anymore. The quality of the food you get when you go out to eat sucks. We spent $45 last month to go out to eat. One of those was a mistake. One of those was Taco Bell, okay? And the other one was Domino's Pizza. And I think there's a $10 lunch in there. My wife went with the girls or something. So we spent $45 last month. Amazon Prime and Zoom. We have an Amazon Prime account. We order a fairly amount of good stuff, a fair amount of stuff from Amazon for the house and what have you. And we pay like $17 a month for that. And then I have a Zoom account, a paid Zoom account. So I have several organizations that I'm involved in, and I have to have that Zoom account. And I believe it's about $17 a month too. So it's $35 for Amazon and Zoom. Now we get down to the items that are not really part of our monthly budget. They're just things that happen. So everybody who knows me from my channels just knows that I'm a photographer. I have a photography hobby, and it can be expensive at times, okay? And last month I spent $163 on photography related items. And now it could just be about anything, but it mainly pertains to my hobby, okay? This $231 for vacations, I paid for my campsite down in Florida for December, and that was a one-time deal there, so that will not be on there next month. And then the $500 in miscellaneous stuff, okay? I'm gonna have to pull out my printout here and kind of go over the miscellaneous stuff, okay? One of the things I did last month is I bought a small generator. They were on sale at Harbor Freight, and I bought a small generator. It cost us $526, but I had a $329 credit in a bank account that we moved over to absorb some of that cost. So in essence, the $329 was not part of our budget. So the generator only cost me about $225 net. There was $107 we spent at Staples for a toner cartridge for our printer. And I got a couple ATMs here that my wife did for the month, about $150 in ATMs. And then I had to get my license removed for $28. So that's what's in the miscellaneous column. I don't expect that to be as high either next month, okay? So the total of this column is $1,494, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add up the two expense columns, $27.72 and $14.94, and you get $4,200, okay, and $66. That's how much we spend each month, okay, living on Social Security, all right? Now, you can look at this and you can maybe do your own budget to see if it'll help you figure out what you're going to be spending on a monthly basis. This figure right here, some of these items will go down, some of them will go up, okay? So, you know, you got to kind of look at what your income level is with your Social Security, and if you don't have enough coming in with Social Security, you'll have to kind of fund that a little bit with you know, some of your 401k distributions or whatever. We're trying to hold off as long as we can from taking our 401k distribution. And currently, at this expense level right here, okay, we are a little bit upside down for now, if you take everything into account here. And I'll tell you how much upside down I am. We're about $258 to the negative, okay, each month. If you take these figures right here, now, like I said, some of this will change. I won't have this truck payment here in December. This $231 for vacation I won't have, and this $145 out-of-pocket doctor expense I won't have coming up in the future. But it could happen all over again next year. So if you take the truck payment and you take the out-of-pocket doctors and you take the vacation expense, that's $826. So, you know, you take that from there, you're about $620 to the good, all right? So it's not as bad as it looks. As long as you don't go crazy and do, you know, crazy things, go out and buy things you don't need and what have you, then it's very possible to live off your Social Security, especially if you do the things I said in the beginning. All right, and I'm going to go over those one more time just so you remember. Pay off your house. Don't have any vehicle payments if you can help it. No consumer debt, no credit card debt whatsoever going into retirement. And have a rainy day fund. Have a savings account. And we had a savings account. We saved up and had a pretty good savings account, a pretty good buffer in our savings account. So we didn't have to really touch our 401ks. But, as you get older, your health's going to deteriorate and you're going to have more money. And you need to watch that, okay? Here's one extra thing for those of you that have hobbies like me, my photography hobby. Before you retire, have what you need for your hobbies or activities in place before you retire. In other words, if they're going to be expensive, go ahead and buy whatever you want while you're working. Make sure you have everything you need to have your hobbies. You got to have hobbies. In my opinion, when you retire, it's more important than when you was working, because when you was working, you probably didn't have a whole lot of time to spend on your hobbies. But when you retire, you're going to have all kinds of time to spend on your hobbies. So, I've got hobbies. I've got a kayak I go out in, but I bought that kayak about 2 years before I retired, and I bought it used. I didn't buy it new. I only spent $300 for it. I've got an e-bike that I use, and that didn't cost me anything. It was gifted to me, and that's a kind of a hobby. And then I got my photography stuff, okay? Buying that pressure washer or that new lawnmower after you retire is not a smart move, okay? But make sure you plan for unexpected expenses. Anyways, this is what I do. This is what I got. I may do this again in December, another 6 months from now or so, and see where we're at. And it'd be fun to do a little bit of a comparison here with our expenses and how we're doing with our income and what have you, and see how things go. But just watch out for those unexpected things. This is all I got to say. I wanted to share this with you, and I hope it kind of opened your eyes a little bit, especially you young people. I wish somebody had taken me by the shoulders and shook me really good when I was younger. I didn't start contributing to my 401k till later in life. If you're in a job now, I'm speaking to the young people now. I'm speaking to the pre-baby boomers, all right, the 30-year-olds. If you're in a good paying job and you are living within your means, and you have a little bit of extra money each month, then here's my suggestion. When you get your pay raise, most people get some kind of cost of living raise in the end of the year. Take that extra cost of living raise, that amount, whatever it is, 3%, 4%, whatever it is, and forget about it. Put it into your 401k. Increase your contributions, okay? Believe me, when you get to about 55 years old and you keep doing that, you'll be able to retire before I did. And I retired at 67. You'll be retired early. I know several people I watch on the internet. I have some personal friends of mine that are around me. They all retired younger than me, 55, 56 years old. That's fantastic. I wish I could have done that. And I could have if I'd been smarter. When you're young and you're working and you're living life and all that, you don't believe anything these older people tell you. But believe me, okay, I wish that somebody had shaken some sense into me when I was younger. Anyways, my name is Ron. This is my channel, All Things Ron. You never know what I might talk about on here. And thanks for coming by today, and we'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.